Hey there, and thanks for watching. In this video, I thought I'd just do kind of a rundown and sort of a cozy catch-up about what I did this weekend and what I got up to. So I have my hot chocolate, sugar-free hot chocolate in my Christmas Charlie Brown mug. I love peanuts. They're like, it's my favorite cartoon, hands down, and I love it, especially around holidays. So I thought I would just sit here and sip my sugar-free hot chocolate and let you know some of the things I got up to over the weekend. So, oh my gosh, and I put like marshmallows in, so it's a perfect sort of like cuddly, cozy, cuddle up kind of thing. We'll see. Oh, this is really good. So, how did it go? On Friday, I stayed a little bit later at work, and people don't normally stay late in my office. I work in marketing, but people have laptops, so we'll work 9 to 5, and then usually the place clears out by like 5:15, by 5:20, almost everyone's gone. By 5:30, everyone's gone because we all work from home, and we're accessible 24/7 really, but we don't stay in the office much past 5. But I ended up being there until 5:30, 5:45 because I just wanted to finish up some outstanding reports I had because we have end of the month billing coming up at the top of the month. We have to bill for the previous month, so it's just easier for me to finish up when I have everything open and ready to go. I have 2 monitors at work as well and my laptop, so I had everything out and ready to go. And I was working and I realized that I was like one of the last people there, and then I was the last person there. And the thing is, on Fridays, we have free lunch Fridays at our office, which is just amazing, and I love working there. So I realized I was the last person. I was like, oh, let me go check out that lunch situation, or like the leftover lunch situation. So I went back to the kitchen area, and there were like a ton of leftovers. And normally what happens is when at the end of the day, the cleaning crew will just come in and take care of anything that's there, and they're totally welcome to anything that's left over as well. So I figured, let me also help myself. So I took some home as also. So I got a giant tray of leftover. It was Chinese. We rotate what we get. We'll get like pizza, Greek, Mexican. I think they've done like different kinds of Mexican, like we'll do like tacos or like build your own burritos kind of thing, Chick-fil-A. So this was Chinese, and I bloated myself up a little tray and took it on home, and that was my Friday night. And I saw other people had done the same throughout the day, but I didn't because I was busy. So it's kind of one of the benefits for working a little bit later, so that was cool. Then I came home like 6. And I was thinking about going out with some friends, but then I made the conscious choice. I was like, let me get ready for the new month. Let me start the new month out in a good foot, or in a good place. So I had the Chinese food. I warmed it up in the oven, and then I just sat and I worked on my website. And by working on my website, I mean I sat in front of it and just kind of looked. I like stared at the interface because like the hosting client or domain or whatever, it's fairly straightforward. It's just there's so many different options, and I have to figure out what I want to say before I figure out how I want to say it. So in terms of copy and putting in posts and things like that. So what I did, I look at other people's websites as well for examples, and I try to like emulate or model people that I want to be like in terms of website stuff, well, with trying to give it my own voice and my own flair. So it was a lot of just sitting and like forcing myself to do some research. I call it doing research when I'm just trying to figure out what to write. Because I ghost wrote for a big chunk of 2015. I did some ghost writing, and I love doing that, but there was always that kind of like when you put yourself up against a deadline and you're just sitting there like wondering what to write. Like I would sometimes just kind of like like just do like fake typing, and that was a big help actually, like fake typing, like just writing anything, doing like free writing for a couple minutes. So that was a big help, but especially in this, figuring out what I want to say and how to say it, it's a little more complicated. I also could do with a little bit more discipline on my side. So I tried to work on my website from maybe 8 until 9:30. And I was tired. Like I'm always tired right around when I get home from like 6 to 8. There's like kind of that energy slump. And then I usually get a second wind around 10 o'clock or so. I'm a night owl who loves waking up early. That's sort of my the way that I go. So it hit like 9:30, 10, and I figured let me get to bed early so I can wake up and have a productive early Saturday morning. And it always goes this way that I'll work through that initial slump. I won't take a nap. I'll like push through because sometimes I'll take a nap from like 8 to 10 and be up and ready to go and work through the night, like work from like 10 to 2. So when I was ghostwriting, that was my schedule. I'd work from like I'd come home, I'd eat dinner, relax, sleep from like 6 until 10, 11, then wake up and then work from 11:30 until 3, 4 in the morning, take a quick nap, wake up, go to work, do the whole thing again. So that was one way that I hustled for sure. But on Friday, I figured let me just start my weekend well and get to bed early. So I was in bed by 10, could not fall asleep. Like I had the worst. I was like just laying there and I'm like, this is ridiculous. It got to be like 10:30, 11, 11:30, 12, 1 o'clock. And I finally was like, what am I going to do? Because I'm still kind of fighting off a cold. And like, it was weird. Like my face hurt. Like my eyes had been puffy and like my nose was all stuffed up. I'm still a little bit congested. So it just wasn't ideal. So I took some cold medicine and was able to fall asleep finally around like 1:30. So it wasn't the greatest sleep. So I slept in Saturday morning until about 8:30. Which is pretty late. Like I like to get up around, like a good morning to wake up is like 5:30. So I did not do that. On Saturday, I slept until 8:30, and then I kind of like fought off that feeling of, well, forget it all. Saturday morning, I just took it easy. So I woke up, I took my time, I made some coffee, sat. I was trying to vlog. I thought that it might be fun to try to do like some holiday vlogs. So far that's not going so well because I've yet to master filming and my filming setup is a little bit sort of wonky, do it yourself, what have you. I'm trying to film with my like old iPhone 4 and a broken tripod. It's not going so well. The footage isn't the greatest, so that's definitely a skill I would like to work on because I would love to show you guys more of my life because I like seeing that when other people post it. So I'm trying to do a little bit more of that. So that was what I was trying to do as well as like do my weekly clean. So that's usually my Saturday. If I'm not doing anything special, that's my Saturday setup is I will take my time waking up, have my coffee, and then go into like my chores and my errands. So I'll put in a load of laundry. It's what I did on Saturday was I threw in a load of laundry and then I did my like cleaning routine, which is where I have a set routine that I try to go through. And it's taken me some time to get down, but I finally feel like I have a bit of a routine and a rhythm. So I'll start in my room and I'll dust my room because immediately that will change my mood. And because my room is the only space that I have like complete control over. Like that's like my bedroom is like, that's me and there's nobody else's stuff there. So I can kind of like decide what stays or what goes in my bedroom. And I try to live really, really simply and clutter-free. So I started in my bedroom and I dust surfaces and then I'll sweep and then I'll come back through with like a vacuum if I'm doing that. I strip my bed, I put my linens in the wash. And I bought a new comforter cover. That was like my splurge for my personal money last month because my old comforter was like, or my duvet cover was like falling apart, not even at the seams. It was like in the middle of it, like it had worn away. And I kept putting my foot through it at night. So I'm like, let me just upgrade. So I did, and I spent $25 to do that. And I washed it and I just put it on this weekend. It was like a fight to like wrestle the duvet back into the cover. But I liked this new one, so that was good. So I did I'll do a clean of the house as well. I'll try to dust and then vacuum. I try to do in that order, but it's always like as soon as you start, you see something's dirty and you clean it, and then all of a sudden you can see all these other things that are dirty, and there's always that fight of like how much in depth do you go? Like, do you get out like the additional attachment for the vacuum and start like vacuuming the crevices? So I did actually do a bit of that. Always sort of ongoing struggle and how much to clean and when and how much time are you going to spend with that. So that was what I did for the morning until about 2, and then my mom got back from her like errands and being out in her groups that she does. She has like a church group in the morning. And we were going to go on a road trip down to Cape May in South Jersey because they were going to have a Christmas parade, and we thought we would do that. I thought I was going to vlog that. I thought that would be cool. We got on the road kind of late, and then it started raining, and I was tired, and I'm still kind of like dealing with this cold. So I figured let's just turn around. So we ended up getting as far as Ocean Grove and then turning back around. We thought we'd check out lights there. That wasn't the best place to go for lights. We got hot chocolate at Wawa, and then we're going to go in like just the residential area and see if anyone had done anything, because it's a great like seaside town. We didn't realize is because the area is so seasonal. During the off season, it's really, really it's kind of almost economically, it is economically depressed on the off season, and people, it's kind of very bare bones. So we were driving like up and down the streets, and we just like, I came out of Wawa and I made an illegal U-turn because we weren't sure what way we were going to go, and we decided it was on the other side, and rather than like, in order to turn left, you had to like do this whole like around thing. So I just tried to make like a quick U-turn. So I did that, and then we were like driving up and down the streets to see if anyone had Christmas lights. And all of a sudden I park to try and get a bearing and decide what we were going to do, because it's kind of like, this was kind of boring. So I park, and all of a sudden I see like police sirens behind me, and I'm like, what the heck? Like, what did I do? So I parked, and I like rolled down my window, and I'm like, good evening, officer. He's like, let me tell you why I stopped you. He's like, I first saw you coming out of Wawa when you made that illegal U-turn, and I watched you going up and down the streets. And so he introduced himself, and his name, he said, I'm Officer so-and-so from the Narcotic and Gang Division. And I'm like, oh my goodness. He's like, we get these people from out of towns, and they're like, looking, what they're looking for. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And all of a sudden my mom from the passenger seat goes, just looking at Christmas lights. Do you know anywhere that might have some good Christmas lights? Oh gosh, like this poor officer. I'm like, Mom, stop! Let him do his job. And he's like, actually, you should go to this town. So we did actually. Like, he named a town. I'm like, all right, let's give it a shot. So he's like, just go on your way, and do you know where you're going now? And I'm like, yes, sir. Thank you very much. Like, sorry to trouble you. Have a good evening. Stay safe. So we got back on the parkway and actually went to this town that he mentioned, and it had some pretty good lights. There were a couple like giant houses. It had like one house went like completely over the top with white and blue lights for Hanukkah, which today is the first day of. So that was like pretty cool. And we like stopped the car, like we parked safely off to the side and like took a couple pictures of that. So that was kind of our weekend road trip, and I kind of like doing this. We do it sometimes in the summer, my mom and I, when we both have a free Saturday, which is very rare. When we do, we just kind of like hop in the car and go exploring. And I thought it's just kind of fun to do that and to reconnect, because we hadn't really spent a lot of time. We had Thanksgiving, but we were both kind of like, I was running the race and she was doing stuff, and then she went on retreat right after Thanksgiving, so we hadn't really had a chance to connect. So it was kind of neat to catch up with her and see what's going on. There are a lot of things in the works, including what's going to happen with our house, because as I mentioned, the mortgage is quite heavy, mortgage and taxes and insurance and all those. There's also an additional line of credit. So there's just a lot of different things in the works with that, and deciding what to do and her job situation and what I'm going to do. So there's some stuff to talk through there. It's just good to like, at this point, like we're truly say like, we're also friends. Like we're roommates, we're mother-daughter, we're also kind of like friends, and I appreciate her opinion, and I like to hear what's going on in her life. So that was fun. And then we came back up. We got in at around 10, so it was kind of late. But then, because I had a performance tonight, I just got back from that performance, I wanted to practice a little bit. So I printed out the music for the performance, and I did a little bit of practicing when I got back. So that was kind of how I ended the evening. Then I went to bed. So that was Saturday night. And then on Sunday, got up, went to church. what happened? I think anything. It's the first Sunday of Advent, so happy Advent. It also is the first night of Hanukkah. If you can hear that, that's I have like a little heater, like a space heater here that's all like cozy for nighttime because I like my room to be like a tropical vacation in the winter. Because I love to be warm when I sleep. In the winter, cool in the summer. It's just the way. So Sunday today, I went to church, then came home, did some more practicing, and then I was at this gig that I just played from 3 until now. I just got home. It's 10 o'clock now. So that's kind of a wrap up of the weekend. I still have some laundry to put away, and then this is kind of a bigger week at work. I'm going to try to get ready. We have our holiday party on Wednesday, and they're going to be execs that are in the area, and there's some things that are shifting. I report to the same person, but my direct boss's boss has changed. So I'm going to just try to be super extra on my game and good and sharp and know at a glance. I have 70 to 75 accounts with 90 different offers. I do direct marketing, performance marketing, direct response marketing. So you really I want to be able to know my account stats and like the updates and the top, sort of my top 10 performers and what we're doing to optimize them. So I kind of wanted to get in a little bit early to brush up on that and to be ready if anyone were to ask. So that's my plan for the week. And also what I'm also hoping to do for this upcoming week, because with the holidays, things are a little bit busier. And even if I don't have a lot on the schedule, I find myself getting a little bit stressed, almost for no reason, but there's reason. It's just things are a little bit more hectic. So I'm going to make a point to add in meditation, like a distinct time of meditation in the morning, like a separate time that I block off. Ideally, it would be 20 minutes. That would be ideal. But if it's only 10, that's important because I haven't been doing any meditation. I had at one point been doing 7 minutes, and that's pretty darn good. But ideal is 15 to 20. So I'm going to try to do that tomorrow. That really helps head off any kind of anxiety issues, as well as, and another thing that also helps head off anxiety is exercise, but that takes a little bit more time as well. So I'm going to plan for that tomorrow morning. That is the plan. So that brings us to tonight. I just really held this mug. I love seeing it. I love seeing the Peanuts gang there. So that's kind of my weekend wrap up. Here's another tip. I don't know if you can see it, but I have a magnificent blemish coming up right there. And it's like, I get this terrible cystic acne. It's like really deep, sort of like inflamed blemishes that like start really down deep and are just super inflamed. And I know the triggers for me are sugar and dairy, as well as stress, but more sugar and dairy. And especially around this time of year, I've been eating more sugar and dairy. Even though I try to like keep it to cut it down, I'll make little like concessions here and there, and I'm trying to stop it because this is the results when I don't. Hence the sugar-free cocoa. So that's what I try to work on. Hydrating water really helps keep the skin clear as well. So that's a little tip. I don't know if you deal with seasonal holiday issues or seasonal skin issues. I definitely do due to that reason. So that's kind of my week rundown. And I'm wearing some super festive. You can see them. These are my Christmas pajamas from last year. They're just super fun gnomes. The print is "There's no place like gnome," GNOME, which I love because I love these little like garden gnomes. So that's sort of my festive weekend rundown. What I got up to. Let me know if you enjoy this kind of thing. I figured you might hate it. So like that too. Like you don't care for this kind of thing. But if you do, and you just kind of like to hear what other people do with their time, because I don't know, I like hearing that. Because I'm super nosy, whatever. Let me know. Let me know what you did this weekend. It'd be great too. So thank you for listening and spending your time with me.